So I decided today to make a more deep and meaningful video as opposed to my erratic behavior videos that I always have. It's a little more deep and serious of a video, and judging by the time below, you can tell it's gonna be a long video. And judging by the title above, you're gonna know what this video is about, which is a list of all my fears. I got home about midnight last night, and I was still my brain was still really wired, but my body was tired. That rhymed. So pulled out the good handy dandy composition notebook, and I just started writing my fears. I'm not entirely sure why, but I did. These aren't in any particular order. They're just kind of whatever came to my brain first when I wrote them down at 1 in the fucking morning. So yeah. The one that comes to my mind the most when people ask me what I'm afraid of is I'm afraid of big open rooms, big open spaces like auditoriums and high open ceilings and domes. I don't like being inside domes. I don't really know where this fear came from, but when I'm in an auditorium or a high open ceiling room or dome, I get really freaked out. My heart races really, really fast, and I don't like it at all. I don't know why. I usually sit in such rooms like this is how I sit when I'm in these rooms, and I look up like this. I cannot pinpoint a reason as to why this bothers me so much, but people always make fun of me when I tell them why I'm sitting like this. And they're like, oh, look at the ceiling. I'm like, I'm not gonna look at the ceiling. I've tried looking at ceilings, and I'm okay for like a good 3 seconds, and then after that, I just start having a freak out in my head. Kind of going with that open ceiling thing. I'm not afraid of heights. I'm okay with heights, but I always feel like I'm gonna drop something from a height, and it really freaks me out, like my cell phone or my chapstick or paper. I can't stand on it. Like, I can stand on a ledge and I can look over it, but if I have something in my hand or I have something dangling around my neck, it freaks me out. I'm gonna drop this, and I don't know why for that one either. I'm just really afraid of dropping things or other people dropping things off of ledges. This is a cheesy one. I'm afraid of memories, like the bad ones, obviously, and sometimes the good ones. I'm afraid of memories because they like to crawl into my brain, and then I get upset over whatever it is, and I don't like thinking about the past in general. I try not to, but you know, the brain likes to do what its own thing. This one sounds terrible. I'm afraid of being caught in a lie. I'm actually a pretty good liar. I can get away with lying about stupid things a lot, and I'm always afraid that I'm gonna get caught, even if it's something stupid, like, oh, your hair, it always looks fine. In my head, I'm thinking they're gonna catch me in this lie, and I'm gonna freak out. I'm always afraid of getting caught in a lie. I think a lot of people have this fear, being publicly humiliated. I mean, I don't have that much of a problem with it, obviously, as I say stupid shit on this YouTube all the time. But I don't like, if I fell, I don't care if I fall in public, but if I do something stupid in public, I don't like it. If people laugh, nobody cares, and I don't care. I don't like not being in control of in times of emergency. I don't like my life in somebody else's hands. There's never been really a particular reason why this fear came about. I've never been in a like traumatic situation where my life depended on somebody else. But when I used to ride the bus to school, I always sat by the emergency exits because then I know I can save myself and I don't have to worry about some like stupid kid who can't open the window. Like I know I can open the window, but can that idiot across the aisle open the window? We don't know. And I'm not gonna let my life be dependent on some idiot. I don't like being followed. I don't like the thought of being followed. It creeps me out. Like if somebody is following me down the street, I freak out. If I'm driving and there's a car that turns 3 of the same exits that I turn at, I freak out. I don't like it. I don't like being abandoned. I have a fear of abandonment. Like I don't really know how to describe this one. It's kind of self-explanatory. And going with that, I don't like the idea of being forgotten. Another one, I have a fear of rejection, just in anything. It doesn't have to be just relationships. I have a fear of being rejected in anything I do. Like if I go up and talk to a teacher or something, I have a fear that they're gonna be like, "You suck. Go away. I don't want to talk to you." Failure. I'm afraid of failing at everything. I don't have to necessarily do everything perfect, but I'm afraid I'm going to fail at it. And going kind of with that, I'm afraid of never amounting to anything. It's not really the same thing. Like, I just don't want to grow up. I'm afraid if I grow up and I look upon my past life and I've done absolutely nothing with my life, that's what I'm fearing for myself. I'm afraid that I'm gonna grow up, look at myself 20 years, 30 years from now and go, I did nothing with my life. I never amounted to anything. I have a fear of not having my own children. Like I have a fear of not being able to conceive my own biological children. That kind of freaks me out. I saw some show. This one I think came from TV. Thank you, TV. When I was younger, I saw some show or a movie or something, and this girl could not physically have children. And I'm so freaked out that when I want to have children, I'm gonna be incapable of bearing children, and it freaks me out. If you know me in person, like me in person, not through this screen, you know that I adore children. I just love little kids, and I want a big family and stuff. And I'm okay with adopting. I actually plan on having like an adopted or 2 children. But if I cannot physically have like 1 child of my own, like if I cannot physically ever get fat and pregnant, not in that order, I'm gonna be highly emotional. Going with that, kind of have a fear of never getting married. Like I just said, I want a big family and stuff, and kind of having a big family entails a second person in the relationship, in my case, preferably a man. I don't know, I had this big fear that I'm gonna go throughout my life and never get married. I don't know. I kind of have this fear of being close to someone, not just like romantically, but in any way. I don't know. I feel in the metaphorical and literal sense, people, when they feel naked, in those 2 senses, they feel vulnerable, and I don't like feeling vulnerable, obviously, from my fear of not having control over things, but I'm really afraid that people are gonna hold stuff against me in my life. I have a fear. This is a really stupid one. I have a fear of mirrors. Not just because it's like, oh, it's a realm into another place or something. I'm afraid of mirrors because I critique myself immensely. Like on this webcam, I can't really see myself. It's okay. But mirrors, you can see yourself. And it's like one of those fears that you have to embrace. Like I can't just not look in the mirror. I go into the mirror every day, obviously. But I just hate facing the mirror because I know I'm just gonna critique myself in some way. The last fear physically that I could think of was fear of exposure, which is kind of like going with the being close to someone type of thing. Like, I have a fear that people are gonna find out things that I don't want them to find out. I don't know really how to describe that other than I'm afraid. Like, I don't know, like, I could have no quarrels or no beef with somebody, but I'm always afraid that I said something or did something and they're gonna find out about it and then they're gonna hate me. I don't even know how to describe this one. I'm afraid of being found out for things I don't want people to find out, or things I don't even remember doing. I'm afraid that people are gonna find out all my little dirty secrets. It's really hard to describe. Those are all my fears. My lovely composition notebook. Hope you enjoyed the complete and utter randomness of this serious video.